Welcome to K-Wave. I'm Hongbin Jeong, your South Korean living right here in Singapore, bringing you all you have to know about the Hallyu fever, or the Korean wave. And with the highest rate of cosmetic surgeries in the world and nearly 1 million procedures a year, South Korea is often called the world's plastic surgery capital. Some estimates have suggested that around 1 in 3 South Korean women between the age 19 and 29 have had plastic surgery. Others have put that number at 50% or higher. So, why is plastic surgery in South Korea so popular? What are some of the trends in plastic surgery in Korea? Well, it's K influencers today, and for today's guest to tell us more about the trends in cosmetic surgery in Korea is Dr. Shens, who is a plastic surgeon consultant at Shens Clinic, and he is a Korean trained plastic surgery doctor. It's Dr. Shens. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Hongbin.
Thank you for joining me today. So, I believe that you received training from South Korea for plastic surgery. Is there a reason why you chose South Korea to go undergo training?
Yeah, so for me, I was actually doing microsurgery at the time during my training in National University Hospital. So at that
Okay.
time, I was actually interested in furthering my techniques in perforator flaps.
Mm,
South Korea is actually known as the Mecca of plastic surgery, and
okay.
they
Yeah.
have very good, meticulous surgeons who are quite versed in microsurgery. And
Mm-hmm.
there's a certain professor who visited us in my university who actually
Mm-hmm.
had a breakthrough in terms of performing perforator-based surgery. So I was
Okay.
actually very keen to learn from him. So I
Mm-hmm.
actually applied, and well, he did say yes, and that's how I ended up in South Korea.
I see. I see. So, how long have you been training there?
So I was in Korea for about a year. I trained in
Mm-hmm.
Hanyang University
Mm-hmm.
under Professor Jong Tae Kim.
Oh,
And
okay.
while I was there was also another Professor An Hee Chang who was actually
Mm-hmm.
well versed in breast reconstruction. So I did actually
Okay.
learn from him as well.
Did anything take you by surprise while you were training in South Korea?
Well, I would say that South Koreans are very meticulous. They are very forthcoming in terms of following trends. So
Mhm.
you could actually see this, especially in cosmetic surgery, and
Okay.
you could see that they make quite a lot of inroads
Mm.
into improving and honing the techniques in
Ah,
cosmetic surgery. Yeah.
I see, I see. So what do you think makes South Korean plastic surgery, different from other countries? What makes it so popular?
Okay, I would say that South Korea has a huge number of plastic surgery trainees.
Mhm.
In a
Okay.
year, they train somewhere from between 4 to 500
Oh,
surgeons,
wow.
which is actually a huge number. And that number is actually a good number because Korea, within Seoul itself, they have a population of around about 10 to 12 million people, right?
Mhm.
So they do actually have enough surgeons to service the big population. And I
Mm,
think Koreans are not averse to having surgery to
right.
enhance the looks to actually get better employments. So,
Mhm.
whereas if you look at most other Asian countries, when they do go for surgery, they will try and
Mhm.
hide the fact that they had surgery. So
Yeah.
it's a very different culture. And Koreans, when they do something and they think that it looks good, it actually
Mhm.
just improves their psyche. They feel more
Mhm.
positive, and
Yeah.
life goes on. Yeah.
I mean,
So I,
no
yeah.
wonder there's like a street full. I mean, in Gangnam, you can just go there and you see plastic surgery clinics like everywhere, right?
That's right. Yeah. So almost every place in Apgujeong and
Mhm.
Gangnam, they actually have quite a lot of plastic surgeons. And then, well, while I was there, actually, my professor sent me to quite a lot of clinics in Gangnam and
Mm.
Apgujeong areas to
Okay.
just do some internship, and that was
Mhm.
very interesting. It was an eye opener for me.
What was so eye-opening for you there?
Okay, so in Singapore, where we train in hospitals, we do not see many aesthetic surgeries being done. Most of
Mhm.
the aesthetic surgeries that we learn from are usually from countries like the United States, and some of the local plastic surgeons actually go to Taiwan to learn as well. I
When
was the
when
first one who
you
went
when
to
you
Korea. Yeah,
when you mention aesthetic surgery,
yeah.
what are you referring to?
I'm talking about cosmetic surgery in terms of
Okay.
eyelid, facial
Mm.
cosmetic surgery.
Okay.
Some of these surgeries could also involve liposuction, and
Mm.
breast augmentation. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. So that was very eye-opening for you there.
Yes, it was in the sense that they kind of like harness very different techniques. They
Mm-hmm.
do that to actually reduce the downtime for patients so that they can
Mm.
return back to work fast. Yeah.
Ah, I see, I see. And speaking of these cosmetic surgery, getting double eyelids, I believe, is one trend has been going on in South Korea for a long time. I think there was a saying that if you graduate from high school, that is, for girls, it's like your graduation gift, getting a double eyelid surgery. So, would you say are some of the trending surgeries now in South Korea?
Okay, well, so while I was there, this was
Mhm.
like close to 10 years ago. The most common surgery was eyelid and followed by rhinoplasty.
Okay, what is
Yeah,
that?
so rhinoplasty as in surgery for the nose, whether
Mm,
it be nose bridge enhancement
mhm,
or to improve the tip of the nose, what we call
right.
tipplasty, or to make
Mhm,
the nose narrower, what we call
mm,
alaplasty. So this was some
okay.
of the other rhinoplasty surgeries that which were common
Mhm,
in Korea. But even now, I think eyelids are still most common. Yeah,
yeah,
so most
okay.
patients tend to do it to make the eyes look bigger, enhance the
Mhm,
double eyelid shape, or they
mhm.
tend to actually improve and open the inner or the outer corner of the eyelids to make it wider. So,
Ah, I see.
yeah,
So it's
so this
not
is called
that.
epicantoplasty.
Ah, I see, I see. I mean, I believe that usually there is always one celebrity that many show to their doctors or their consultants at these clinics, whether it's, they want a nose like this one celebrity or eyes like another celebrity. Which celebrities' facial features are highly popular now?
Okay, well, back in Singapore at least, we don't really get that. Most
Mhm.
patients actually come by and they just tell me what they would like to see on
Okay.
themselves. And
Mhm.
what we do is we will do some form of simulation so that they can actually
Mhm.
see what kind of eyelid height suits
Mm.
their face. But if you
Mm.
were to just take a celebrity like Jenny from Blackpink, she's got
Mhm.
very, very natural looking double eyelids and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you put it on anyone's face, it might not suit them. So
Mhm.
we actually look at proportions of the face, the shape of the eye, the position of the eyebrow, and in relation to the other features of the face to decide how much or how thick a double eyelid to confer for a certain patient. Yeah. So we
Okay.
look at it as a whole, and we
Mhm.
do not try to actually follow another person's face or eyelid shape. Yeah. I think that
Ah,
would go wrong. Yeah.
out of curiosity, when you
Yes.
look at Korean celebrities, can you tell what they have done?
Yeah, sometimes it's actually possible to tell.
Mhm.
When you actually look at certain features, especially when they are moving the eyes, when they look down or to the side, you might actually be able to tell very subtle
Oh,
differences between the two
okay.
eyes and
Mhm.
whether there are scars. So
Mm.
for plastic surgeons, yes, I think it might be quite easy to tell. But for the general public, if they are not looking at these images
Yeah.
very often or
Mhm.
surgeries, they might not actually know. Yeah.
I see, I see. I mean, we're on a video call as well while we're on our audio, but taking a look at me, what's one thing I could fix to follow the current trending look in South Korea?
Okay, so well, that's a tough one, but I don't think you do really need to do much. But I think one of the trending Korean surgery fixes would be to do fat grafting. A lot of
Mm,
people do fat grafting for the forehead to enhance
mhm,
the shape to have a very beautiful curvaceous forehead. I think
okay.
that's something very popular among women. And the other
Mhm.
thing they actually also do is to lower the hairline.
Oh,
So
the
a lot
hairline.
of yeah, there are a lot of Koreans actually do follicle unit extractions with
Uh-huh.
hair transplant for the to lower the hairline for ladies. Yeah. So
So
these
is that
are
to make the face a bit smaller?
yeah, in a sense, it kind of like enhances the overall look. We look at
Mhm.
proportions of the upper, middle, and the lower face. So
Yeah.
if the forehead is very high, by
Mhm.
lowering the hairline, that would actually confer a more aesthetic outlook. Yeah.
I see, I see. Thank you for that. I mean, but speaking of which, I mean, you're based here in Singapore. So is there a lot of, take up of Korean plastic surgery among Singaporeans?
I would say yes. Looking
Mhm.
at the trend the last 10 to 15 years, younger people are doing more surgeries nowadays. In fact,
Okay.
sometimes the parents bring the children in
Mm.
to actually get their eyelids done earlier,
Mhm.
in the late teens or even the
Mhm.
early 20s, prior to actually getting into university. So
Mhm.
I would say that the trend is definitely improving, and I'm seeing more patients getting some of these enhancements
Mhm.
done for themselves.
If you do it earlier in your
Mhm.
age, is it more beneficial? Does it look more natural?
I wouldn't say that, but if you have, or rather, if you would like to look better and have it
Mhm.
enhanced early, well,
Mhm.
you're going to benefit from it for a longer time, rather
Yeah.
than to actually think about it for years and then 10 years
Mhm.
later you come in and you say, oh, get my double eyelids done. Then you've actually missed out on, you could have looked better 10 years
Mhm.
earlier, you see.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, what are some of the K-beauty trends that you're seeing among Singaporeans? What do these Singaporeans clients, what do they come to you for?
I would say a lot of them, in fact, the majority come for
Mhm.
eyelid enhancement, be
Okay.
it double eyelid creation or to actually open the inner or outer corner of the eyelids.
Mhm.
That's probably the most common surgery.
Mhm.
Second common surgery that I perform is liposuction with
Mhm.
fat grafting to either the buttock regions or to the
Mhm.
breast or to the face to actually
Mm.
improve some of these contours. And
Yes.
the third most common surgery that I do is actually breast augmentation.
Okay, okay. So, I mean, I believe there's still a lot of misconceptions when it comes to plastic surgery. So, what are some of the misconceptions that you're seeing when it comes to plastic surgery?
Well, if you actually say misconceptions, most people think that plastic surgery is to correct something.
Mm.
I would say that it is actually not to correct something. You should think of it as just enhancing something.
Mhm.
I mean, there are people who look really good, but if you just
Mhm.
tweak them partially, they might look amazing. So
Right.
small tweaks are actually important. In fact,
Mhm.
in a person who ages, you'll also notice, for example, the chin might slowly retrude with age. So
Mhm.
when they are much older, you
Mhm.
might want to actually do a bit of a chin
Oh.
enhancement using an implant, and that
Mhm.
will confer the original look again. Yeah. So
Mhm.
this is actually something that we can look at, and I would say people think kind of like they think that plastic surgery is actually a waste of time. It's just to change the whole look. But I would
Yeah.
say it's to maintain the look, maintain a
Mhm.
youthful look, a natural look, and to
Mhm.
actually just be happy and enjoy the look. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Is it very painful to go undergo plastic surgery?
Now, so some of these enhancements are very small surgeries,
Mhm.
tiny surgeries involving, like, say, for example, the eyelids. They don't
Mhm.
hurt very much. In fact, most patients who go for it might take a painkiller for just a day, and the next
Oh,
day they are off the painkillers because it doesn't hurt. It just feels a bit swollen. They just
okay.
use a bit of an ice pack. They will
Mhm.
take some anti-inflammatory medications to reduce swelling, but it's actually not
Mhm.
that painful. Yeah.
Mhm, mhm. So other than, I mean, I believe you mentioned this, but other than breast surgery, what other kind of South Korean plastic surgery do you offer at your clinic?
Okay, so apart from breast, lipocontouring, fat
Mhm.
grafting, eyelids, I actually also do facelifts, quite a bit
Mm.
of facelifts.
Mhm.
Previously, patients used to do facelift at the age of 60 and above.
Mhm.
Nowadays, I'm seeing younger patients in the early
Really?
50s and even the late 40s coming in for a
Mhm.
facelift. So instead of doing enhancement on a yearly basis, they come in at
Mhm.
a late 40 stage, they get a face and neck lift done. That's going to last them for 8 to 10 years before they would
I
need
see.
something done. Yeah,
Wow, 8 to 10 years, that long.
yeah.
I see. So for those interested, how can they reach out to your clinic?
Oh, okay. I'm actually located quite centrally in
Mhm.
Somerset region.
Mm.
My clinic is called Shens Clinic. It's quite easily Googled. Yeah. So most
Mhm.
patients actually see me on the social media platform, and they actually
Mm.
just call in for an appointment. But we are very, very centrally located at Winston
Mhm.
House, which is
Okay.
just opposite KPO. Yeah.
I see. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Shens, for joining me today.
Thanks, Hongbin.
Thank you. I've been speaking to Dr. Shens, who's a plastic surgeon consultant at Shens Clinic, about the latest plastic surgery trends in South Korea. I'm Hongbin Jeong, and this has been K Influencers on K Wave right here on Money FM 89.3.
Money FM 89.3.